Most people think growing healthy plants starts with watering, but it actually starts much earlier with the seed. A tiny mistake during the first few days can affect the entire life of a plant. Weak roots, slow growth, poor harvests. Sometimes the problem isn't the weather or the fertilizer. It happened before the seed even sprouted. Today, we'll go through the biggest seed starting mistakes gardeners make, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Let's begin with one of the most common mistakes, planting seeds too deep. Many beginners believe that deeper planting protects the seed. It feels logical. But seeds contain only a limited amount of stored energy. That energy has one job: push the first shoot toward the surface. If the seed is buried too deep, it may simply run out of energy before reaching daylight. A simple rule works surprisingly well. Plant seeds about 2 to 3 times as deep as the seed's own thickness. Tiny seeds often shouldn't be buried at all. They only need gentle contact with the soil because some actually require light to germinate. The second mistake is using the wrong soil. Regular garden soil may seem like the obvious choice, but for seeds, it's often too dense. Young roots are incredibly delicate. Heavy soil traps too much water, reduces airflow, and can make it difficult for seedlings to develop healthy roots. Instead, use a light seed starting mix designed to hold moisture while still allowing plenty of oxygen around the roots. Healthy roots need both water and air. The third mistake is overwatering. This is probably the mistake almost every gardener makes at least once. People see dry-looking soil and immediately reach for the watering can. But constantly wet soil creates a dangerous environment. Seeds need moisture, but they also need oxygen. When soil stays soaked, oxygen disappears, and fungi begin to thrive. One of the biggest dangers is something called damping off, where perfectly healthy seedlings suddenly collapse at the base and die within hours. Instead of keeping the soil wet, aim to keep it evenly moist, not muddy, not dry. Just lightly moist. Now let's talk about temperature. Many gardeners focus only on sunlight while completely ignoring warmth. But for many plants, temperature is actually the signal that tells the seed it's safe to begin growing. If the soil is too cold, germination slows dramatically or doesn't happen at all. Warm season crops like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants especially benefit from warm soil. Sometimes increasing the soil temperature by just a few degrees can make a huge difference. Mistake number 5 is not giving seedlings enough light. This happens every spring. The seeds germinate perfectly. Everything looks great. Then suddenly the seedlings become tall, thin, and weak. They're stretching, not because they want to, because they're searching for more light. A windowsill often looks bright to us, but for a young seedling, it may still be far too dim. Strong light during the first weeks encourages short, sturdy stems and healthy leaves. The next mistake is starting seeds at the wrong time. It's exciting to begin gardening early, but starting too soon often creates more problems than benefits. If seedlings become too large before outdoor conditions are ready, they can become root-bound, stressed, and difficult to transplant. Starting too late isn't ideal either, because plants lose valuable growing time. Following the recommended planting schedule for your climate usually gives the best results. Now, here's a mistake many people never think about: planting too many seeds in one container. It feels like increasing your chances, but when dozens of seedlings compete in the same small space, they quickly fight for light, water, nutrients, and airflow. Crowded seedlings grow weaker and become more vulnerable to disease. Giving each plant enough room early on often produces stronger plants later. Many gardeners create perfect humidity by covering seed trays. That's great for germination, but after seedlings emerge, many forget to remove the cover. Without fresh air, humidity stays extremely high. This creates ideal conditions for mold and fungal diseases. A small amount of gentle airflow helps seedlings develop stronger stems and healthier growth. Finally, one mistake that often happens right before planting outside: skipping hardening off. Indoor seedlings live a comfortable life. No strong wind, no direct midday sun, no sudden temperature swings. Taking them straight outside is like asking someone who spent months indoors to suddenly run a marathon. Leaves can burn, growth can stop. Some plants never fully recover. Instead, introduce outdoor conditions gradually over about a week. A little more sunlight each day, a little more wind, a little more time outside. The plants adapt naturally. Here's something worth remembering. Seeds don't fail because they're weak. Most failures happen because the environment isn't right. When moisture, temperature, oxygen, light, and timing all work together, seeds already know exactly what to do. They've been doing it for millions of years. Your job isn't to force them to grow. It's simply to create the conditions that allow them to succeed. And often, the healthiest garden doesn't come from doing more. It comes from avoiding the small mistakes that happen before the first leaf even appears. Subscribe for more gardening tips, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.